Hello. Today I'm just recording this in Perth while I'm on holidays with my parents and my friends. So today we'll be talking about goal setting and the bits of the how-tos of the goal setting. And so let me just share my screen. All right. So last week we talked about an honest reflection on your life. So it's just doing like an audit of your life, seeing, what are the areas in your life that you possibly might want to improve on. Like, let's say your career, let's say your finances, let's say your business, your health, your relationships, anything of those. And now, after reflecting on everything in your life, and then you want to set goals so that you improve a little bit in each area of your life. Usually, what I would suggest is just pick 1 to 2 areas to improve on, and then once those are better, you can pick another area to improve on. So, what most people do is they just spread their attention too thin, and that's the reason why it gets a little daunting and it gets a little hard. So, if you pick 1 to 2 areas to improve on, that's how you're gonna make more progress in at least those areas than trying to make a little bit of progress everywhere. So, going into goal setting of the how to, just a little reminder that you always want to write your goals down. Because when you write your goals down, it becomes physical, it becomes tangible. Try, like some people will type it, but generally, if you want to type it, then you want to print it out. Um, if you're writing your goals down in like a notebook or like a notepad or your own personal journal, I think writing actually helps, like an exercise to, put things into your brain. And then if you want, some people even write on their those glass, like mirrors or like bathroom walls or wherever they want to put it. Because obviously the more you see it, the more your mind pays attention to it and the more energy flows to it. So there's different kinds of goals, obviously. What I've put here is yearly goals, decade vision, and century mission. So in terms of yearly goals, so many people sort of overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in a couple of years. So what you want to do is to set your yearly goals and keep reviewing them. You can even set 6 monthly goals, and then you want to have a vision sort of all the way into 10 years down the road, like where you want to be, what you want to be doing, how much you want to be earning, what's your relationships like, what's your health going to be like, because that's going to be the vision that you're like working yourself to. And then what I mean by century mission, it just means that, if you do want to, or if you're the kind of person who wants to leave your legacy behind, then that's when you gotta have a mission that's gonna be, strong enough to inspire yourself, inspire others, and bring about like a global movement. And I believe that that's gonna make you make the most impact on the people's lives. And so going on, because last time I told you guys to, do an audit of the past 6 months of your life. It doesn't really matter if it's 6 months or a year, as long as they don't change too much. Because you don't want to do like a reflection of when you were like 10 years old, since that wouldn't really make sense. So when in the last 6 months, how was your relationships going? And the key for this is to surround yourself with people who are either on the same journey as you or those who will build you up and hold you to a higher standard with the intention of making you a better person. And so there's also many ways of thinking of this. So it's not only that, because you want to know that, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself most with. So if you want to become, let's say, financially abundant, then you want to surround yourself with financially abundant people. If you want to become more healthy, then you want to surround yourself with um, health nuts, like health enthusiasts. And the idea is just to surround yourself with people who is going to encourage you and push you towards the goal that you want to be. And the next thing is, some examples for me actually are, now I'm connecting with like other So seven, eight figure influencers, and that's kind of who I'm surrounding myself with. And also along that, in terms of relationships, I don't want to just talk biz. So in terms of relationships with my parents and my grandparents, because I'm usually apart from them. So I'm in Australia while they're in like Malaysia and Singapore. So what usually happens is, um, I remember when I started uni, in the first year, because it was so bad. I was used to living with my parents for so long. So when I first separated from them, it was like crazy. It was like hell for me because I just didn't like, I can survive on my own, but it just didn't felt right. Like I just felt that there was this piece missing, and I probably cried every single day for like almost 2 weeks. Anyway, going back to the topic, that was kind of kind of stupid, but going back to the topic, I started to get used to, living on my own, and also sort of making friends along the way. And in the first year of my uni, I think I pretty much called almost every day. And then in the second year of uni, I called almost sort of every other day to every 2 days or 3 days. And then in the third year of uni, I think I called once a week back to home. And then in the fourth year of uni, I probably called once a fortnight to once a month. And then afterwards, I started working. And so that became like, I don't know. Honestly, I didn't think that was going to be that bad, but it was pretty bad because of how I suppose the work after uni was actually pretty draining. I was doing like pharmacy and I was dealing with my pharmacy exams while working full time while trying to sort of discover what I actually liked, because pharmacy was kind of draining. So I know I didn't quite want to do this for the next, 40 to 60 years of my life. That would be horrible. So anyway, going back to the point, so because it was draining, then I was telling myself that, hey, I'm just too tired. I don't have time. I want time to relax, and all these different things. And then the contact started going down. So I probably call once a month, and that's it. And so I think that, like, after a few years like that, it wasn't really appropriate. And I feel like it doesn't help to build relationships. So this particular year, at the start of the year, I set a goal to call my parents and my grandparents once a week. Although I try to follow that as much as possible, but occasionally I miss the mark. But that's basically, the kind of goals that you want to try setting so that you can build your relationships up. And then actually, um, I would say I've been hitting it like probably 95%. I'm still trying my best to consistently, get there. But I mean, people have flaws, so do I. So I'll keep going. And moving on, there's also other kinds of goals. So we've got goals for personal growth. As Jim Rohn has said, formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. So you can have all those, traditional education, and yeah, you get a job, you are able to sort of survive, and that's fine. But when you educate yourself, when you try to learn about other things that's not in your field, and then that's when your horizon expands. That's when you get like another perspective. That's when you learn how to think. Because I think many things in life, it's actually learning how to think. Like learning how to go in depth, learning how to actually be able to have the vision of looking at the whole forest, but also being able to look at the tree too. And the idea for goals of personal growth is you want to start small and then you want to build up. So there's this rule as well saying, it's a 21-90 rule, which says that it's 21 days to build a habit. So you need to be consistently doing something for 21 days in order to sort of make it a habit. and increase the likelihood of you doing it continuously. And then once you reach the 90-day mark of doing that particular habit consistently, it becomes a lifestyle where you would just, mindlessly do it. Just like when my mom wakes up, she always drinks a cup of hot water. Well, warm hot water. Yeah. So that's why, like, she's made it into her lifestyle already. So it makes sense for her. But when I try to get her to start taking vitamin D, then she's like, I don't think I can consistently take it. So I basically asked her to take it with her water so she doesn't forget, because she never forgets her hot water. And that's why you want to pair things with like your habits that you're already doing. So that way it makes it a bit more easier. Then the second thing is about starting small to build up, as I mentioned before. So let's say that you're not like, you know, an avid reader. So you don't really read that much and you want to try to start reading, which is fine. Because I mentioned, how an average CEO reads about 60 books a year and you want to, start having some personal growth in that way. And because you're not really used to reading, so what I suggest is maybe just spend about 10 minutes each night, just to read a book. Just 10 minutes. You don't have to do a lot. Just before you go to bed, you read the book. And then afterwards, once you read 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and then after that, you build it up to 15, 15, 15, 15, and then maybe to 30 minutes, and so on. And that's how you're going to get, your daily readings done, and you're going to get all the books that you want to read, basically. Because if you think about it, if you read 30 minutes a day for every single week, that's going to be 3.5 hours each week, which is pretty decent. That might be enough for some people to finish a book. And if you read one book a week, then technically you're already reading 52 books a year. So that's pretty impressive. All right, moving on. You could also include, like, listening to a podcast if you're traveling. Then that way you're not only, I guess, you're not really saving time per se, but you're making really efficient and effective use of time because you're learning constantly and on the go. And that's what I've been doing ever since I needed to travel to my workplace a couple of years back, because I feel like I needed a lot um, of kind of self-education, to grow myself. And we've got goals for your health in the next 6 months. Say you've been eating like, well, kind of, I was gonna say garbage food, but basically like fast food, like macas or like KFCs or burgers, chips, whatever the case is. And maybe it's, not doing well for your body. Maybe you're having like puffed up face in the morning. Maybe you're unable to exercise as much. Maybe you don't have that much energy and you want to have more energy to spend with your kids. And maybe you haven't been exercising because you've just been like a couch potato watching Netflix. And maybe you haven't drunk enough water, because I'm personally at fault of that. Like from young, I remember I number one, I didn't really like drinking water, so that wasn't really on me. I do like flavored water, so it doesn't matter. Like, I don't need to have like sugary drinks, but I need my water to have flavor. So occasionally, I add a bit of lemon to it. Sometimes I add some mint, but basically, I just want to make water a bit more flavorful rather than just water. But the second reason was because when I was studying in Singapore, from primary school, probably in kindergarten as well, like we're just encouraged by the teachers not to go to the toilet because it kind of disrupts the class, when you raise your hand and say, hey, I want to go to the toilet, is that okay? And so that's pretty much what made me not drink as much water, so I don't have to go to the toilet and disrupt the class. And that's the reason why I don't really have a habit of drinking a lot of water. So when I tried to make myself like this year, because I was trying to make myself drink more water, so I bought myself like those kind of water bottles with um sort of level markings on them, and then they've got like timers to say that at 8 a.m. you drink until this much, at 9 a.m. you drink this much, at 10 a.m. you drink this much, and then it goes all the way down, and then you fill the bottle, and then it goes from 2 p.m. all the way down, down, down. And so I bought those kind of bottles. I tried using it. I tried drinking more water, and it did work in terms of drinking more water, but I wasn't until that 2 liter mark because I'll just feel myself a little bit overhydrated. It's like the body has been already used to not drinking that much water. And when I just gushed water into it, it's just like, no, 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 I'm not having that much water. And so I believe in terms of your health goals, also try to start small because you want your body to slowly adapt to your new status in health and then grow it to the ideal state. And with exercise and nutrition, just make sure that you are not overexerting yourself. Like there should be a bit of pain, because pain is what uh, shows you that you're growing. Like for example, your muscles, if there's no pain when you're working out, then you're obviously not growing. Like what I mean by pain is just soreness because you've been using it, but not the kind of irregular pain. And then in terms of nutrition, as you switch from, let's say, your normal diet to something a bit more healthy. So in January of this year, I actually started like a no sugar diet challenge for 30 days. It was crazy because I love sugar. Not sugary foods in particular, but sugary drinks. So I do love my, orange juice, apple juice, the occasional cider, things along the lines. And while I don't eat that much sugary desserts, it also, I guess, wasn't the best for my health to drink, sugary drinks. Like I'm not a fan of Coke or anything like that, but these juices aren't as good as people say they are. So the idea is I went on like a no sugar diet. It was kind of crazy because I even watched how my housemates cooked to make sure that they didn't add any sugar for me before they added sugar to their meals for themselves. Um, and it was hell. It was hell for like the first week, and probably a part of the second week because my body was like, I need sugar. I haven't had sugar for so long. I need sugar. But then it started to become better. So I was having pimples like crazy as they popped out. And then afterwards, it died down and my skin became a bit better as well. So just a few things that you can try and sort of monitor yourself for. And so I've got some questions guide here for you. I'll paste that down in the link in the description below too, so that you can have a look at these questions, have a look at, um, how after your honest reflection on yourself, how you want to set different goals. So like, your health goals, your spiritual goals, your career goals, all those different goals. And what you want to do is to be specific when setting these goals. You want to include the exact time frames and as much detail as possible. For example, losing 10 kilos by by next year, in where this will be posted will be August. So August 24th next year, um, you will be already 10 kilo less than where you are right now. And that is the goal. And then afterwards, you've got your action steps on how you're going to achieve that, how you're going to change your diet, how you're going to change your exercise, how you're going to drink more water, things like that. And with that said, if you liked this kind of content and how my sharing helped you to, become a bit more aware about goal setting, this is part 2 series. Let's do part 3, which we talk about motivation. So please watch out for it and like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. If you want more tips on living out your best life and value-driven content, my social media links are on the top right-hand corner of the page. Enjoy. All right, and have a great day.